Everybody, we're back.
Hello, welcome back.
Yep. So we're in homicide still. I didn't like that last case very much, for a couple reasons.
Oh man, we had a discussion about it, didn't we, after the case? And I remember only one thing from that discussion. There's this, the one we had off camera, which was that at the end of it, we agreed that we'd had a lot of useful insights, and that it would have been good if the discussion was on camera. But
yeah,
it wasn't.
It wasn't, and it never will be, because you can never recapture the same magic of conversation.
Who knows what we said? I'm sure. Anyway, we totally analysed the thing, came to some points of view. I'm sure our later discussions will be informed by whatever secret ideas might have been contained therein.
Yes, and I've forgotten the name of that case that we were just on. It was the white shoe slaying that we were on.
It was so-called.
That was the one where, despite all of the investigations that we did, the evidence seemed to only point to the husband, but we ended up arresting a homeless guy because he didn't deny it when accused.
On that point, okay, so I've been thinking about this. While you're absolutely right that the homeless lunatic did not do the murder and we falsely arrested an innocent man, well, I mean, innocent of this crime anyway, who knows what else he's guilty of.
Vagrancy, which is still a crime at this point.
Yeah, probably is, Jesus Christ. Anyway, while that is true, the evidence pointing to the husband thing, we made that up in our brains. He acted guilty, but there was, essentially no evidence showing that he might have actually done it.
So there was circumstantial evidence that you could be like that's considerably more than we've had in all of the other cases, I think. This was the first one where I felt fairly confident that it was the guy.
Right. At the time, I agreed with you. When we were playing through it, it felt like he was guilty, but I've looked back and watched the video now, and what was his name? Hugo? It wasn't Hugo. He was something Scandinavian. We had racial stereotypes about him. But anyway, let's call him Mindy. Mindy, or whoever, did not have any evidence pointing to him. We broke his alibi, right? We proved that he could have physically done it, but we had no specific reason to suspect him. There was absolutely nothing that might have been seen.
Here's what I'm remembering. Did we look at his car? I feel like his car had dirty tires or something, but I may be making that up because I remember there were car tires that were, or there were tracks.
No, not true at all. He walked home from a poker game.
That's good because he was probably drunk at that point.
He was suspicious as hell, right? He was like, oh, I didn't go outside, and we proved he did go outside because his coat was wet, right?
Yes.
And he was like, oh, I loved my wife, and I never would have hurt her, and then we proved that they were having arguments and stuff.
Yeah. And
he was like, oh, I couldn't have done it, I was at this other place, and we proved that wasn't true. He kept lying, and he was clearly a rude person who had he really resented his wife, and she wasn't the person he thought she was. He could have killed her, but there really was nothing to suggest that he actually did. You could not prove it in a court of law with the evidence we had. I don't think you could get him indicted even.
You couldn't prove it in a court of law, assuming the law was just. However, we are cops, so we could have just said, yes, this guy totally did it. Which is, in fact, what we've done with the other person in the case. So.
Yeah, but no, there really wasn't any evidence for Hugo or Mindy or whoever. Whereas for the homeless communist, someone framed him for us. They planted the bloody rope itself and the woman's purse taken from her body.
Yes. We
had this forged evidence for that guy. So, really, I've actually come around to the point of view that Phelps and Galloway had no choice but to arrest that guy. Being as they are prejudiced against homeless communists, they probably even genuinely thought he did it.
That's fair. I have not rewatched that case myself, but let's get started on this new one, actually. But
oh yeah, of course. I think if you ever do, you'll realize there really was no evidence on the husband.
I do think that I was probably a little strong on my accusations for various reasons. That's not an issue this time because we were recording in the morning, so I'm very tired. I'm very tired.
Sorry about this. Then again, I was tired last time.
It's because yes, for most of these episodes, I am very awake and you are very tired. So here we are.
Then again, I don't have to actually control the characters. So
the studio secretary murder. Let's go.
Yeah.
Loading screen.
Yeah, I really recommend going back and looking at the last one. It's interesting how we became convinced the husband did it just because he was an asshole who kept lying to us.
I did want to actually do a sober contemplation video where I just replayed the case without you present because I didn't think I would be able to schedule anything, but I just wanted to replay it real quick and go through things in the other order to see if going to the... She is very intoxicated. Hey, haven't all the other ladies in this been drugged? Also, that's a man with a pipe. That's not a rope.
Well, this is just the beginning. The beginning is not ending well. So, I noticed it's the same weapon every time, too. That's the same killer.
Yep.
This conversation, holy shit. Donnelly is already...
Yo, lady got murdered?
That someone has hocked a rose gold wedding ring and matching engagement ring. familiar.
Deirdre Muller.
Press the pawnbroker and see what you can find out.
Oh man,
48 South Main Street.
because they never found Deirdre Muller's jewelry.
That's true.
So they haven't actually prosecuted any of these people yet for homicide,
just
and they're just
starting to.
about to get the first one. Yeah.
Have another poor unfortunate found this morning beside the railroad.
So I imagine that we're about to like find the real killers.
Right, Skipper.
Yeah. Is this going to be the point where not even the police can avoid noticing that a crime has been committed? We'll see. Cole is going to be unbearably smug if so.
He's already starting to be unbearably smug.
Come to terms with the fact that he's wearing no clothes.
See, because he's referencing,
Get that
yeah.
book of riddles shoved up your ass, though. Is that what your old man did in college
Oh, man.
for?
He doesn't reply to that one. I want to know more about Phelps' family. Like, it's been vaguely mentioned that he's from a very wealthy family, right? But we haven't heard anything more about it. Maybe that's because he doesn't want to emphasize his background.
Pawnbroker or the rail yard first? I figured the pawnbroker, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's where he said to go.
But he also said that there's a murder that happened. But I guess
Yeah,
pawnbroker
he said-
first, just because...
I mean, he said go there, then there. I mean, you could
This is
disagree.
looking odd.
Anyone can pawn
I got no objection to it.
If you take it along with all of the other indicators,
Cole. Hugo Moeller was identified by the school's groundkeeper. He's our guy.
witnesses have fingered the wrong guy before.
He ran, for God's sake.
Wouldn't
He
you?
always maintained he was set up.
I mean, the cops are after you, even if you didn't do it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you run, probably?
I feel like we remembered. I feel like we were both pretty certain, and I'm still pretty certain that Hugo Moller at least did not kill his wife.
That's the guy that, like, we had a different option that I wanted to do, but I accidentally hit the wrong button, right? Or is that a different
Random
case?
pedophile. It wasn't the wrong button. It was about not having got enough questions
Ah, yes.
right. I think. Sarge. Yeah.
They pay good money.
And the other guy. I mean, it seemed like the other guy probably didn't kill her either, but he was more.
That's
Would have been
true.
more politically expedient to arrest him at least.
Detectives Phelps.
Hey, this pawnbroker's is cool. He's got all sorts of stuff behind the bars there.
Gold wedding and engagement ring.
David Bremner. Am I gonna get something for this pledge? Gave that bum money, now you guys are gonna leave me short.
How much would you give him?
$50?
Try another number.
20?
Try 10. Feel lucky you're getting it.
I have the rings right here.
I wonder if Galloway's going to expense that as 50.
Hell, I would.
What's this mark here?
Maker's mark. Usually traceable. That one came from Hartfield's jewelry.
They make a expensive bourbon that's fine. I don't know.
Oh. Maker's Mark is the thing, right? Rather
Yes.
than Hartfield jewelry, yeah.
Hartfield
I
Jewelry,
have
as far as
had
I'm aware,
a-
does not make any liquor.
I have had half a shot of Maker's Mark, and then I was like, this is making me choke. I will stop. I'm not very good at that liquor.
I've never been big on shots, but
What have you got on the guy who...
also that seems like a waste of Makers, actually.
Goes by the name of Percy.
Yeah.
Percy Shelley, huh?
Gave an address.
That's
15
we know
Pollard
that
Street,
name from the newspaper
London,
stuff and the
Tulare.
psychologist business.
Can you give us a description of the man who pawned these
Do
rings?
we?
Not sure.
That's isn't it?
Medium height, medium
Percy
build,
B. Shelley.
dark hair.
Are you sure which guy in the psychologist situation was it?
I think he was the guy that was selling the heroin?
We'll be in touch, Mr. Bremner.
And
Well,
like,
you've got.
or he was.
I
he
mean,
was-
Harlan Fontaine is the main sleazy psychologist.
Yes.
Courtney Sheldon is his dupe.
I
with
think
his
I was
student.
thinking of Sheldon, which is
Ah,
not Shelley,
right.
but it is close.
Yeah, I don't think I remember a Percy Shelley yet.
Unless it's like a. There's Byron Shelley, right? Is there like a famous Percy poet? Could be like
Byron
an
and
alias.
Shelley were both separately
Oh,
poets.
wait. Who is Shelley then? What's his first name? Or was Shelley his first name?
I don't know, actually. I've forgotten it. Could be Percy.
Because if it was a reference, that would also be a. Wait. Can't I go to the ring
I'll go.
the place?
I guess it's not really very useful to go to Hartfield Jewelers, is it? Because, like, Hartfield sold the ring to the Mollers years ago.
But like, what about the
Didn't-
Percy Shelley guy?
We don't know where he lives.
I thought we had a. Okay, I guess I should pay more attention, but it's early, so that's my excuse.
I think
so
they're going to
there
look
we
up lives and then go talk to him.
Yes. Get it, please. Hey, you're watching me turn
We're
around.
off
Don't.
to a usual start here.
Yes.
Oh dear.
They really
I
ought
just
to
saw,
put
like-
seatbelts in these things, and yeah, he just
Yeah,
switched
yeah,
forward.
You saw the same thing as me.
We have a problem. Slam.
We have a problem, and the problem is my driving. Are they going to resume that conversation, or? Okay, there we go.
The address is bogus. Purpose happened.
Ah, so they did have an address for Shelley, but
Okay.
The guy who's been
it's wrong.
sending the Dahlia letters is also the guy who pawned
Oh
the
shit, the
rings.
poem was
How do you
by
figure
Shelley.
that? Percy
Yes.
Bysshe Shelley
There we
was
go.
the
It is
owner
Percy
of the
Shelley.
Dahlia letter. The Dahlia
That's
letters were
where we heard it
the man
before.
who killed Elizabeth Short may have also killed Deirdre Martin.
Okay. Now I feel
How do we prove
more
that?
educated. Because I knew that it was a poem, but I couldn't figure out how it got there.
We're gonna have to rely on this guy tripping out on his own vanity.
Oh man. I mean, now you know what it's like to work with folks. Or folks who's educated. Okay, so this is some really good evidence, isn't it? That there have been, I guess, 5 serial killings, 4 of which we have falsely accused the wrong person in.
Well,
And 1 of which happened off screen.
wait, did we... Have we only done 4 cases? I thought we did... Okay, yeah. Oh,
I
right.
think there's been 4 of them, yeah. I think
Well-
this is the 5th homicide case.
Yes. And the Elizabeth Short case... Hey, cop. How come driving is so hard? Where's the good place to go? Here's the good place to
The
go?
Elizabeth Short case was handled by Floyd Rose and Galloway, but
And
Floyd
that-
has...
But they didn't
retired
arrest
or
anybody
something.
there, did they?
Nope, they couldn't find the killer.
Okay. Also, Floyd Rose still had... We never did figure out the significance of that book that had his name in it from the first, like, patrol thing.
Yeah, and he mysteriously took an early retirement at the start of this desk.
I was really hoping that he was just going to drive straight into that train. Like, the scripting hadn't been set up for a train actually going across there.
Got it?
I get it, Rusty.
Okay, another train killing. Well, no, the last one was a fake killing since it was a hog. Carruthers not wearing a hat today.
Hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not
I
raining this
look
time,
after all the
so...
rail depots.
What have you got?
This is the second one with
Negro,
clothes
Nelson
on.
Gaines called it in. I came down here to make sure him and the other guy, Jameson, stuck
Wow.
around.
Jameson
A
found
game
blood.
set in 1947.
Something like that.
Yep.
Guy makes me sick.
We'll talk to the coroner. Keep an eye on both of them.
Is he saying guy makes me sick because he's black? Like, is that the entire reason?
I think so, but I guess we'll have to talk to him ourselves and find out if there's a different reason. That is
Wow.
a hell of a beating.
Smell?
Very good. There is the
She doesn't
usual
look-
evacuation smell,
Uh,
but it appears she's been living rough for quite some time.
Very strong smell of
looks like she's strangled, but not with a
the
rope.
autopsy will tell, but I would assume that she was inebriated.
Necktie, is that? Looks like a necktie. Oh, and also it doesn't look like she's been strangled. Like, there's no throat marks.
I wonder, maybe this is not a killing by the same person. Like, he hasn't gone after vagrants in the past, has he?
Well, there was the other case that had other...
Oh shit, look at the ring finger.
Yep.
Okay,
I've been swabbing a
it's
lot
the
of
same
things
killer.
recently.
And what I was going to say was, like, the last case had some other things that didn't really seem like they matched up with the MO, which is why we were so convinced that the
Yeah.
husband did it.
Mhm. We were... Although I did advance the alternate theory that it was the standard killer, but in a hurry.
Yes, and I think that's actually probably the actual correct one.
Hence the tire marks. I wonder... I mean, it's useless, I guess, to speculate into the motives and psychology of a fictional serial killer.
Right.
I was going to say, like, I wonder what impels him to choose and murder people.
I suspect we will find out in the final case of homicide shortly before shipping off to Vice.
That actually seems very likely at this rate, doesn't it? Actually, I think I remember...
So normally
I
it seems
think
like
I
on
remember
bodies you
that
get... sorry to talk over you, but normally it seems like on bodies you get arm, and head, but you also get,
Yeah.
like, body, and I don't think you get body this time.
You've mentioned that at least once before. There was another case where you didn't get body.
Maybe it
and
was
you
just
will-
literally only in that first one that you get body.
Yeah, you do get it more than once, but like sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Is what I'm saying. It's not the first time that's happened. The Keystone
Lot to see
Film
what they
Company.
know about her.
Good until
That's gonna
1941.
be
That's a
difficult,
while
Cole.
ago.
Keystone Studio Lot
There
goes
we are.
back in 41.
Oh shit! So she lost her job in 1941 and has been homeless since sometime after then. That's sad. Dear Evelyn, I hope this letter finds you in a better way than when we last parted. Bitter words were exchanged. You had taken too much liquor, and we both know what that makes you become. But I am not writing to harass and accuse. I am writing to apologize. I was heartbroken, seeing what had become of my little girl, what she is doing to herself. Sanitarium.
in Connecticut. This is not the first please come home letter that we've gotten, although the last one was for traffic.
There have been a number of those in Hollywood, and I think we're probably going to see more of them as the game goes on.
That was only the upper half. There wasn't a date on there as far as I could tell, so presumably we'll find that in the lower half, that it was also from a while ago.
Maybe someone at Mensch's will remember her.
Ah, of course, the bar. Maybe that's where the Dahlia killer looks for 5 people and finds them at bars, follows them home or to no home in this case.
Not booze. It's an angle worth investigating.
Oh. So she stashes her stuff in some sort of
Liquor store, but that's like...
liquor store. Oh god.
Is that just like where her shit is?
I guess. Oh, one-stop shop. It's pretty evocative, isn't it? The game's theme of people coming out west to make it in Los Angeles, and a lot of them don't and end up instead in these cases.
Yeah. There was a... well, that fruit market, that also had like a back room thing.
Yeah. And there was that bar with the gambling. It's quite common, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
Blood
Spatter.
splatter on the carriage. She must have been struck while standing up.
Okay.
I mean, this is about fictional things happening 50 years ago.
White female,
But we know
approximately 40
people
years
who
of age,
have that kind of life story
face
today
with
as
no
well.
writing,
Yes.
At least nothing legible. A blunt force trauma. to
Lipstick-
the
oh, we
temple
didn't even
nodes
see the
and eye
lipstick.
regions. Ligature marks point to the probable cause of death being strangulation.
Okay, there was marks, it
idea
just
of the
didn't
time
really
of
show up
death?
on the texture work.
From her temperature,
Yeah.
after midnight would be my guess.
Okay. The phone icon has appeared. But
I do have a number of pieces of information it would be nice to obtain.
yes, so I'm going to take another pass around here, and then I'm going to start talking to the people who found the body.
One of them was called Jameson, and the other, I'm not sure if we got more than one name.
We did get 2 names, but
What are you thinking, Ray?
The city keeps tossing us dead
who
bodies.
is this?
Ray
just
Pinker, he's
running
the
the
forensics guy.
catch-up.
Okay. But he has nothing useful to say, so I'm not sure why it told me to talk to him, but alas.
Well, he said a cool noir thing.
Yeah.
Like, that line was fantastic.
Alright, let's talk to you first, sir.
Detective Phelps and Galloway, homicide. Can you tell me exactly what happened?
We were shutting cars over to the main line when I saw this man here lying on top
Ah,
of the
that's why the guy gave
Oh.
him
He
creeps.
wasn't moving and seemed
Oh
to be in
shit.
a bad way.
What time was this?
Oh
About
man.
7:30 this morning,
He was
sir.
actually talking about the other person giving him
Yeah,
the
he
creeps.
was.
Okay, good.
I have, sir.
Thank you. You can go now.
These are the least racist cops that
Right.
you will find in 1947 Los Angeles.
Cole does not seem racist. Yeah, that's something for
he
him.
had that thing back in Traffic about Latinos. I feel like he had a thing.
Ah,
Detective
maybe.
Phelps, LAPD homicide.
John Ferdinand Jameson.
You sure that wasn't
I need
Bukowski?
you to answer some questions.
It may have been both of them.
If you don't mind.
Yeah.
I prefer Ferdinand.
Don't push your luck, knucklehead.
What were you doing to the body, Ferdinand?
Are you sure you won't be upset?
That's the wrong answer, sir.
This is such a good game.
Like a man.
Turn out your
I
pockets,
think it
Ferdinand.
actually may be against the law to do that.
Yeah, it is. It's a great scene, though. That's the lipstick.
Okay,
Oh, God.
so there was no writing.
Classic Carmine.
Yeah, there was no writing, but he put lipstick on the dead body because he's a fucking creep.
No. I found it near her purse. I thought she could use some lipstick.
Rusty, stop. Don't hit him.
You don't seem to be having quite the same reaction here.
No.
You went
Oh,
through
well.
her purse?
It wasn't like she needed it. Took a look.
I guess it's true that it wasn't like she needed it because of being dead. Oh, we might want to hit lie because of the letter.
Yeah, sure. But if you don't find a good lie accusation, I reckon it's truth.
Yeah, he
I could
seems
be-
fairly convinced that she didn't need it anymore, which,
Yeah.
as I said, not inaccurate.
Maybe this man is an honest pervert.
Interfere with him. That's your MO, Jameson?
I know some people might find what I do unusual, but I don't kill people.
Yep, that's...
How can you prove that?
Nope,
I
that's
killed
not
this
what we
woman?
were We were talking about you interfering with the crime scene, the part about the torn letter, but that's not...
No, that's not what...
No, yeah, I hit B. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were talking about interfering with the crime scene, not about killing, so...
But when Cole said interfere, that's not what he meant.
Apparently not. So, truth?
Interfere is old slang from around this time period. It refers to sexual activity.
Ah. Yep,
yeah.
Well, great. Fantastic. Truth it is.
Did you take it?
Yeah, probably.
Wasn't any to take. I found her lipstick and her matchbook over on the mat. Not much else.
You sure you don't want to talk about the second half of a torn letter, or what? I guess he doesn't know about it.
Yeah, maybe the letter was not there by the time he got to it.
I did. I work here. I was coming off shift and headed home.
I'm gonna hit doubt, because he's now looking shifty.
Yeah, compared to the last time, he does look shifty.
And I don't think that we've got
Look at that eyebrow. Oh, Jesus, this guy.
When they told the actor to act sleazy, he really bought into the role, I guess.
Yeah, this is really good acting, sort of. It's really it's really acting. I won't say good.
Is going to look to a jury?
A jury? What gives? I could tell she was dead.
Great.
I came through here about midnight last night. She wasn't here then.
Let me belt him again.
You're under arrest, Jameson. We'll see how
He didn't kill her, but he is a fucking creep, so that's...
I'm telling you, it's not illegal. Me and some friends of mine...
Thank you, Rusty. Also, let him keep talking, though, because that may have actually been, like,
Sure, Rusty.
a ring of perverts, just like...
I'm sure.
Boy, it's not the most fun investigation to do, but sure, you get arrests on your books or whatever. The DA gets happy.
Yeah, like I'm sure that when they've got him in a cell, they'll probably be asking him a lot of questions, or finding whoever is currently on everyone else's shit list and getting them to interview him.
Yeah, my only hope is that they don't interview about the wrong shit. Like if they start talking to him about this murder, they're not gonna find anything interesting.
He certainly didn't kill her.
I imagine that he's going to be one of our choices for the murderer, though.
Could be, yeah. Let's not finger a bad choice of words.
Thank you.
Well, we know where Levine's liquor store is, at least.
Yep. Excuse me, I'm going to cough off microphone real quick.
As one does. I've made occasional use of the mute function myself from time to time.
See, I didn't mute. My microphone will stop getting audio if I flip it up vertically. But there's a weird click sound that happens sometimes, so I don't know if that comes through on the recording, or if I'm just babbling now.
It wasn't really audible here.
Okay.
It's like a kind of analog mute you've got.
It's because I don't remember the actual keys to mute.
Here. Was she dragged through? Oh, right, that's why there's blood there.
Yeah, there's. She was standing probably about right here, actually.
Yeah, when she got hit. I guess this train wasn't moving at the time. Was there anything else among the trains, or is this it?
I think this is it, but I'm doing one last pass around here. This is cigarettes. This is garbage. Yep, sure is garbage.
Giving me anything to go on.
His fascination with picking up random trash is kind of infuriating because, the ping happens whether or not
it's important, yeah.
And I'm always just the music stopped out there, by the way, which is why I didn't continue seeking that way.
Oh yes, that's a helpful cue. Yeah, what was the phrase he uses? You don't know if you never ask.
Yes.
Apply the same principle to random garbage.
And the music also stops over here, so it's literally just that little section there, which means that we probably haven't missed anything.
Cool.
Although
I mean, this woman didn't have a lot of possessions, and the killer is unfortunately a very careful man.
It would be better if he wasn't.
Yeah, apart from that one case where he was taunting us and leaving a trail of evidence, he doesn't seem to leave things behind accidentally. God, when's he...
Is there a ring of these people? Because they've all got slightly different MOs, right?
I think it's just that probably there are some variations. He's probably not 100% set on every detail of the killings.
Right. So do we want to go to the bar, or do we want to go to the liquor store where all of her shit was?
I'd go to the liquor store, see if you can get some information about this person from her belongings. I mean, then I'm kind of questioning myself now, though, because sad as her life is, will it help to know more about her? Or was this... You know what, I think it will. Because I think he follows women home from bars, and so someone might have seen him at.
People are starving.
That sounds right. Also, Rusty, shut up.
Food to fund the civil war against the communists. Really?
But on the other hand, Cole, shut up.
On the other hand, Rusty, shut up
Armies
twice.
can't fight without food. Spend money on weapons, but you still have to have the will to fight.
I think we need to go to the liquor store first because
Watch
I'm
your
going to
mouth.
imagine there's like we do
Know
know
what you're
like
saying?
fragments of her life, right? I'm
People
going
of
to
this country
pull over
will-
to the side of the road so that I can
You
open
think
up
the
the notebook.
Chinese will balk at an emperor if they are starving?
So the
The Chinese. It's funny how like Cole is clearly more right about politics than most of the people on the force, but at the same time he's really not from our point of view.
yeah, from a modern point of view, his whole shtick is look, it's a thing. The movie lot job though, like also the case was called like the movie lot slaying or whatever the hell, right? The studio slaying?
The studio secretary or something, and that it looks like this Evelyn was a secretary. Yeah, studio secretary murder.
So
Perhaps they'll come into it.
it seems like that's got to be more relevant than just like, oh, this is who she is, right?
Yeah, I reckon we can take that meta information and guess that perhaps it will be useful to look into the dead woman some more. It seems like she deserves it anyway.
Yes, that too. Although I am curious if the same bartender is if there's another temporary bartender at the bar that we go to, and if finally we're allowed to ask about that.
That would be interesting, wouldn't it? We had 2 temporary bartenders, one of whom we spoke to, the other one who we weren't allowed to meet.
I don't
There's
think we
always a
actually did speak to a
bartender.
temporary bartender ever. Or wait, did we? Or
No,
yeah,
we did,
he
the
just
very
like
first
wasn't
case.
the usual one.
Yeah,
Okay.
very good case. So, like, every one of these kind of crimes seems to start in a bar, right?
Yes.
So, if there's weird stuff going on in the bars, yes, that is very suspicious.
Yeah. But I still want to get her stuff first and just like make sure that there's not something else weird. Like I
Yeah,
think
I'm
the
sure
only
it'll
links
provide
so
us
far
with some
have been
insight.
like married women, white women. Although I'm not sure if that's like a thing from the games thing or like the cops wouldn't be interested in if they were not white.
Interesting question. I hope they would be. I don't know.
You need to not run into the street when there's noted crazed maniac Cole Phelps on the road.
What is going?
There's a gunfight going on, but I'm not stopping.
It's somebody else's gunfight, I guess.
Yeah, y'all have fun. Bye.
Yeah. Look, I'm just a traffic cop.
That's not
And
true,
not.
actually. We work in homicide, but look, it's not a homicide
Look,
yet. It's
when-
fine. We'll get there
Unless
later.
someone dies in the gunfight, yeah.
We'll get there later. It'll be fine. Then we can really investigate the
Hello.
homicide, keep our stats up. You don't get any bonuses for stopping crimes that aren't happening yet.
It's true. Actually, you probably do. But one hopes.
One hopes.
Yeah. So is this place a bottle-o and also a vault?
A what?
Bottle-o.
A what?
A bottle-o. You don't have bottle-os in America, do you?
No, we have liquor stores. You buy
Okay,
liquor
well we
there.
call them bottle-os. Because you get a bottle there of liquor.
What was the other thing you said?
Or like a vault, but I meant to say like a storage place.
Ah.
Yes, I knew
We don't say vault.
I was a good friend of her ex-husband. She kept some of her stuff
Oh.
here.
Can you show us?
So it was a personal favor.
Sure. Come this way.
I wonder if he like actually sold her booze too, or if he was just like, no, you got to go to the bar for that. I happen
That's
to
an
own the
interesting-
liquor store. But
Yeah. Interesting question, isn't it? I wonder, would he give her a discount? Or would he cut her off?
You got some fine stock here, Mr. Robbins.
Rusty, maybe not the time.
Well, you let us take some for the road.
Jesus
this
Christ.
place might be small.
Thankfully, he didn't respond to that. Oh, Cole did, though.
Yeah, but also the guy just didn't say anything because the fuck do you say to that?
This is where she slept. At least sometimes.
A bowling?
It's
Is that an Oscar?
nice.
When exactly did Evelyn work in the pictures?
A few years ago.
It's like an off-brand Oscar or something.
Yeah. I know the name Keystone Films. I don't know whether because it's a real place or because of the Keystone Cops movies, but was that the name of the studio that made them? They were like, I remember there was a real studio which was like really big and then went totally bust because they did all these gimmick films.
I have no idea what the actual film studio was for them.
There was a fictionalization of the story behind the Keystone Cops, which was called Keystone, about the lead character if it was not a real person, but it's a very entertaining story.
So it's like the Animaniacs, where they lived in the Warner Brothers Tower.
Maybe Evelyn did something other than drink in her spare time.
That's all right.
That's good.
I know that place. Corner of 9th and Grand. A lot of cops pulled
We'll have to look that up.
I'm glad that we don't have to call in the address for every place, because sometimes our partner just happens to know it.
These are the two things Galloway knows about. Yeah,
That's-
bowling and booze.
That looked like a letter on the bedside table.
This place is making me very sad.
Yeah.
Like, everything, the little personal effects. The living in the back of a liquor store with a friend of the ex.
She was reading metaphysics too?
Stupid.
Jeez.
The only stupid thing about her was her need to drink.
That's... Alright.
And she was borrowing books from Grosvenor McCaffrey.
That's not how I would have pronounced that word if I hadn't heard it first.
It's like Grosvenor Square in the UK.
I would have called it Grosvenor, like almost assuredly. Like that's
Well,
not how
it would
words
be-
work apparently, but... Okay, seriously.
Maybe not good
next
American
to that,
word.
next to that light, that looks like something that we would be interested in, but I guess we're
Of some
not.
sort.
Or the trash. We
It's
would
too
also be interested
it's
in the
too
trash.
low resolution. Like, look at that. There's no way that's textured well enough for you to look at it. Family? Friends? Family. Look at them. Sisters, I think.
Probably, yeah. But despite being of
happier
interest
times.
enough to be able to just like wave it around, we can't further investigate it. So
With polygonal light. Not polygonal light, aliased.
yeah, video game technology, it's come a ways.
So I guess in the case of Evelyn Summers, was it?
That sounds right. Yeah.
It was alcoholism that basically made her unemployable, rather than the movies per se, though they may have had an influence.
Maybe. Just kind of trying to make sure that we're not missing anything, because
It's certainly
feel
a
like we
treasure
went
trove
over-
of very sad information.
yeah. But despite the bowling alley thing, there's not really. So I guess now the question is: do we go to the bowling alley or do we go to the bar?
Yeah, do you want to talk to some... Well, with this Grosvenor we need to get an address on as well, but...
First I'm going to see if we can talk to the guy anymore. I suspect that he's
Yeah,
told us
he
everything he
could-
can, but... Oh, nope, apparently not.
Yeah, he clearly knew Evelyn.
We're trying to account
Okay.
for Evelyn's movements yesterday.
She came by in the morning.
A social visit to pick up some of her things?
She had a couple of bucks and bought a quart of rye.
Okay, so he does sell to her.
And that's... I cannot read this guy.
I
He
would
looks
say truth.
sad, but
Because he seems sad, but also he's looking directly at us and his eyes aren't shifting. The eyes has been my general go-to as
yeah,
far as
he's
clues.
kind of bobbing back and forth, but if you want to pick truth, I don't object.
Any idea where the money came from?
She didn't mention it. But she did say the booze was a present for a boy.
That sounds
said
like
they
a
were
lie
fighting
that
and she
somebody
didn't
would
make it
tell
up.
when they were an alcoholic looking for booze, yes?
Yeah,
You and Evelyn
could
close
be
as
true.
friends.
Not many people will be sad she's gone. I'll be one of the few.
Look,
I'm
either
again
that's
convinced by
true,
truth, because the eyes are
Yeah,
not moving.
Either it's true, I don't want to call him on it. So, yeah.
It could be lie because of this upper half of the torn letter. But I don't know if I want to accuse him without evidence here. Or I don't want to accuse him and find out, like, you're lying, you killed her. Like, no, I don't really want to do that. So I'm just going to hit truth.
That's truth.
I got
Him.
the impression that Evelyn had
It was fine.
rough.
Truth was the correct answer there.
This seems like one of the...
Me to have her stay here. Her mother was trying to get her back on the straight and narrow.
Yes, this is in fact where we would have hit lie and said, like, look at this letter.
To be honest, you have to have a good reason to want to get back on it.
Do you happen to have the other half of the letter?
You know a friend of Evelyn's
you got
by the
the-
name of McCaffrey?
Not personally.
This, I would say, is doubt. He's now shifting his eyes around.
Is he really?
It's very subtle, but yes.
Yeah,
It's
you're
like
right.
looking
He
down
is.
away
He's
and
just
everything.
a pretty stoic person. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds doubtful.
Leeds, Robbins. Did she know McCaffrey?
She idolized him. From what I gather, the feeling was far from mutual. He seems to
Oh.
peddle a revolutionary stance,
Wait.
fixing the ills of society. You could see how it would appeal to down-and-outs like Evelyn.
What was the guy's name that we arrested from the last
Thanks
case?
for your help, Mr. Robbins.
It was Stuart Ackerman,
Okay.
I think.
But this is sort of similar, actually.
I'd like to make arrangements for the
Yeah.
You think I could get in touch with Evelyn's mother?
Put in a call to the watch commander at Central Station, Mr. Robbins. He'll be trying to reach the next
Jeez.
of kin.
Thanks.
So I guess he doesn't have the rest of the letter since he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Evelyn never hurt anybody.
That's sort of the idea, but I think I have bad news for you about this part of the case in particular, because I bet we're going to arrest the wrong person, and then next case is when we finally get the Black Dahlia killer.
Why not just, like, get the right person this time?
Well, I would love to, but this is a video game, and they're clearly setting up to, like, a Black Dahlia showdown, and they wouldn't just piggyback off a random other case to do it.
They might. I mean, the game is not that predictable.
No, yeah, I've been very wrong before, so...
But I mean, I particularly sad.
this is probably going to be a 3-star case at best, by the way, with all my...
Just, you think that the missing bonnet might have an influence on the rating?
A little bit. I bet I've done over $1,000 of damage already, so...
Well, this was a pretty nice car once upon a time.
We're going to the bar first before
What
the
kind of
bowling
car
alley.
they drive in Vice? That's going to be nice. Like, if Homicide gets one this good, Vice is where all the money is, right? Though Homicide is prestige. So what's this? The bar? Mensch. Mensch's bar. Not Louise, I hope.
Probably not.
Drink, fellas. Phelps, Galloway.
Although I bet this bar is populated entirely by Russians, so...
I'm Walter Match. Evelyn Summers. What
Hence
is it
the name.
now?
You knew Evelyn?
As well as I wanted to know Evelyn. She's a pain in the ass, always coming in here, cadging drinks, never had any money. She was in just a couple of nights ago.
Did she ever tell you where she was staying?
I don't know. I think she was living rough.
Boy, this guy's gonna feel really silly in about 5 minutes.
Ask around.
I guess we're not gonna tell him first. Hey,
What's your name?
Possibly
this
ever.
guy looks...
Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Hey,
Mind if I ask you some questions, Mr. McCaffrey?
I'm just a starving writer, detective. What do you want?
No,
I was gonna
he's
say
not.
this guy looks familiar, but now that he's actually put his face
Why she
up,
was found beaten and
it
strangled
doesn't
in the
look like
rail
the guy at all.
depot on Santa Fe.
Cole is really yelling here. He clearly
Your point.
suspects this guy. I
How well
wonder.
did you know her?
He seems very
Can't
calm
say that I
for...
knew her. It was more like I was aware of her.
He also
Well, this
would
is not-
be, as a struggling writer, he would be the kind of person who would know the poet that's name is now escaping me.
I wonder if this was like the boy that Evelyn claimed to need to make things up with by giving him liquor.
Mr. McCaffrey.
That might not have been true, of course.
Nothing serious. I've had a few skirmishes.
This sounds like a doubt to me.
Also,
his eyes are looking away, so my theory still
Yep.
is kind of holding here.
Yeah,
as
yep.
far as evidence, we've got nothing for him at
We
all.
don't know. What's the book say? Right, found among victims. That'll be for the other one.
You want to save me some time, or do you want me to look up your file?
Fair enough.
Industrial disputes.
Ah,
Strikes.
so he was correct. These are minor issues, actually.
That kind of thing.
A
You know,
regular fifth column.
This guy seems...
Nice to meet you, comrade.
He doesn't seem like a salt-of-the-earth labor union type, does he?
No.
Dude.
What's the phrase? Latte liberal, except the other one for champagne socialist. That's the one.
Yeah, I wonder
You say you barely knew Evelyn?
whether he's being supercilious because he doesn't like the cops or because
Correct.
he's a smug ass.
You're lying, McCaffrey. You looked down your nose at Evelyn, but you knew her, and you have some idea. Of
I don't know if he has some idea of what happened, but we do know that he knew her better
I
than
hope
he
you're
said so.
holding
Yeah.
Aces. I'm telling you again. I barely knew the woman.
He,
Okay.
he lent her a book.
Yes.
You don't lend someone a book if you barely knew them. Well,
Why would you
maybe
lend her
you
your
do.
book on metaphysics?
I mean,
if you only
I
knew
would
her
lend
in
books to
passing?
people if I really liked the book and was just like, hey, you should read this.
Renaissance man
I wouldn't expect to
sells
get it back, but
books to his acolytes.
You lent me a book once. It was a good book,
Hounded me
thank you.
about that
Yeah.
goddamn book. And then she lifts it from my apartment and lies to my face that she didn't take it. As if she could even comprehend any of it.
this guy's
This
kind
guy,
of a shithead.
I don't like him.
I saw her go into
I don't like him.
hotel with Tiernan last night.
With who?
They had booze in a paper.
Tiernan.
He's your man.
Who is
Thank you for the
Tiernan?
information.
Apparently, we're just gonna hit Tiernan question mark and then believe him that that's the line.
Well, I mean, we believe that he said it.
Yes, but like, are you not gonna be like, who is this Tiernan fellow? Oh, hey, we've got a new outfit. Going to just change, just right here in the middle of this bar. Just like, hang on, nobody look at this. Oh, this is. That's a crappy outfit, actually. Like, it's a decent outfit, but like, it's got no bonus. So, why would I be interested?
Don't believe everything you read in the papers. It might itself be a bonus.
It just makes him less credulous. Like, all of a sudden, he's now willing to investigate the bars.
Or maybe next time you pick up one of the flashback psychology drug newspapers, Cole will be like, "That's bullshit."
Very cute. You know who's asking.
I know my rights. You don't have
Is
it.
this
Answer the question.
Tiernan?
Let's find out.
Evelyn mooches for drinks. I don't have any time for that.
Was that so hard?
Keep writing me, copper.
You know, I don't remember this case at all.
I also don't remember this case. Also, apparently we can't talk to the bartender about, say, Cole? That's very impressive, Cole. I'm very impressed.
Making himself look tall to scare them.
But yeah, I just wanted to ask if they had a backup bartender working the previous night, but apparently Cole's not interested in that. So he's just going to stand on top of this bar rail. Very impressively, like his feet are not bending whatsoever. He's just got
Galloway
this.
stoically stands by, waits until he's done on the rail,
Well,
glances over occasionally. Can you talk to Galloway and ask if he knows who Tiernan is? Because what the hell?
Apparently not. Nope, he's got nothing.
okay.
And we're just done talking to that guy, and the bartender's not
Should we
interested.
go in the back and search around for records of people's names? There's nothing here, is there?
There's actually no music playing either, so...
So nothing to look for. Huh. Just some rubbish.
Yep. And this
Oh.
isn't the kind of rubbish that he's interested in digging through.
Okay,
Sorry,
I
you made
guess
me
for
say
some
rubbish
reason
instead
that-
of trash. How dare you?
So what does it say in your case record on the mysterious Tiernan?
That was some clipping through the notebook there.
I did see the fingers pop through for a sec there.
Just says Tiernan question mark, gender male, and that's it. That's all we've got.
Okay, and they've got no evidence about him.
It really seems like Cole should have said, like,
Who is
got
that?
anything more about this Tiernan fellow, but...
Well, maybe
I
if we
think the
happen
game is
to
trying to, like-
randomly run into someone called Tiernan, then we can accuse him on the spot of being like, "Hey, this asshole we don't trust, so you go into a hotel."
Yeah.
Levin King.
Return to Central, okay?
Levin King, in or out?
Oh shit.
I don't know what a code 2 is.
Code 2.
It must be very important because it's a very low number.
Yeah, exactly. Like they were allocating codes, they got barely through the codebook at all, and they had to assign 2 to this one. Whatever it is, it didn't give you a choice about where to go. It's just like return to the central station.
So now I'm interested in what would have happened if we'd gone to the bowling alley. Probably we would have found Tiernan, who would have accused the other guy, is what I'm assuming.
Oh, that's a possibility. You know what?
So,
I reckon code 2 is going to be about, I mean, this is pretty obvious, but I reckon it's going to be about Deirdre Moller.
what was the code that they gave us the last time that they had received a message from the Black Dahlia Killer, the poems? Was that
I
also
don't know.
code 2?
Maybe, but maybe not. I don't remember.
So, one thing that I haven't liked about LA Noire on this replay is, like, they're trying to lead you places, and you're supposed to be, like, drawing your own conclusions, but then it suddenly stops letting you ask the questions that you want to ask. So, like, they've mentioned the backup bartenders, and maybe we're not supposed to even be twigging on that yet. Maybe that's just, like, a complete coincidence. They didn't even think about it when they were writing the game.
But there was no option to ask about, hey, has there been any suspicious temp bartenders in your bar or anything like that? Yeah,
Yes.
it's true.
And
There's
that's something that,
game-
like, you can't, maybe you couldn't have predicted that players would want to ask about that even, but as
Game
somebody who
does
wants to ask about that, I'm kind of frustrated.
The game does not have enough freedom in it to really be a detective simulator. It's a
It
yeah,
seems like it's one of the parts where it seems like it would have been better served as, like, a text adventure, where you wouldn't have had to spend so much money, like, perfectly mapping out Los Angeles or whatever.
The only defense I can fall back on here is that, again, it's not a role-playing game. It's telling a specific story in a kind of action story kind of way. But that's not really a defense. That's just saying here's something the game's not good at.
Yes,
Which
and
it's not
also
good at
I
all.
think that, like, it is letting you roleplay as an investigator. It's just that
What's this
sometimes
about, Captain?
Cole Phelps does his own
Gray
thing.
and Mal have some concerns over the Henry and Muller cases.
Ah,
which I don't want to
the
air
Henry
outside
case
this
as
room.
well.
Evidence is solid, Captain.
No, it's not,
I
Rusty.
agree,
it's
Rusty.
not.
It's just that corpses keep piling up.
Copycats.
Dude,
I've been banging the same drum.
come on.
But the notes and the lipstick messages.
Evelyn Summers, Cartel Classic Carmine. Each woman, same brand, same color.
Teresa Terrelson didn't have a lipstick message.
Technically, you're right, Rusty. She didn't have any lipstick, but she did have a message. We found it beneath her dress, scraped with a sharp stick.
Oh, shit.
You sure you want to know?
Ray?
As far as we can be sure, it said "cunt BD."
Great.
That's one way of looking at it.
Looking at
BD.
Cunt is all about access, Phelps. You're married. Yours is mortgage.
Rusty?
Some of us like
Shut
to pay
up.
by installments.
Stop
this
talking.
guy doesn't like to pay at all.
Why are you so angry, Mal?
Because Rusty
I
sucks.
just had to fire one of my assistants. He was a friend of Jameson's. God knows what. he might
Oh,
have done.
awesome.
Captain.
Oh my god.
But it's up to you to decide how to proceed.
Keep this under your hat for now.
Friend of Jameson's is
Follow
a
up on Evelyn
really
Summers.
good euphemism for that
Daily
thing.
reports.
Yeah. So I guess they really are keeping on looking into that.
Good. They need to.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
this is one of those things
Not at
where,
all.
like,
Back to the Summers case.
how much
Dress for McCaffrey. He'll have blown the bar. I'll meet
how
you
much
outside.
evidence has been ruined by that guy now? Is the question that I'm thinking of.
When you say it ruined, you're talking about people's dead bodies, yes?
Yes. No,
I mean,
I'm
the
talking
bo-
about like
oh.
the evidence that has been left. Like, how much of that now is like this weirdo doing shit, and how much of that was like actually there before? The evidence
Well, it's-
specifically, not the that.
No, but
also,
like these guys didn't plant evidence on people. They
no,
just
but he would have by
Phelps, 1, 2,
having
Oh, yeah.
activities with the body, he may have overwritten something.
basically. You can see why Mal Carruthers is kind of mad right now.
I would also be mad. I am mad right now, actually.
It's a good thing that they've caught the guy and now can like look up his contacts and find out this ring of necrophiliacs.
So do we want to go to his apartment or do we want to go to the bowling alley? I kind of want to go to the bowling alley.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen a bowling alley. I would like to see a fictional bowling alley. Actually, I think the last time I saw a bowling alley was in a Rockstar video game. Just a different one.
Did you go bowling with your cousin?
Depends.
Yes.
Why is the police station
Morals.
still lit up?
Would it bother you to put the wrong person away? Depends. On what? On whether anyone except the poor son of a bitch in the Slam River found out.
That's one way to look at it.
I shouldn't have gotten out of the car there because he was talking to me, and now he's not talking anymore. Shit. I hope I haven't lost that conversation, but there's nothing I can do about it now.
Yeah, it may have been over, it may not. We don't know. It was interesting that Galloway is explicitly okay with that. Why have you returned to the police station?
Because it was still lit up on my thing. I was wondering if there was something else that I needed to investigate down here.
Doesn't that just mean that you may be returning to it later on?
I think so, but I do just want to take a... Oh, I guess I'm going to be coming back here
Again.
in a minute because we're going to be investigating, or we're going to be interrogating somebody. Also,
Yeah, I
there was
mean,
nothing to look at down here.
It's starting to seem
I have
like
a
you're
photo.
right, and like this case too will end up with arresting someone you know to be innocent. Hence that conversation.
Yes, the one that we were about to say. Cole, we don't actually know what Cole's opinions on that are. He was about to say either yes or no, and we will never know now.
I think we can surmise that Cole is less okay with it.
My guess
how
is that
much-
Cole's answer is going to be no, but his actual actions are going to be yes.
Yeah, they could definitely how much less okay. What would it take to pay him off? Clearly, it would take more than to pay Galloway off. But it would take just nothing, like continuing to be friends or whatever. But it will take to buy off Cole. I am interested to find out.
Yeah. Also, yes, that conversation is now over, so I guess I'll have to like look it up after this case is done, or I guess you will,
Yeah, I won't.
to avoid spoilers.
Should be pretty easy to look up.
This has been an eventful case, and most of the events are bad.
Yeah, it's been exciting. I think this is a really good one so far.
It's going well, which
I mean, it's going well in the broad sense that like you are figuring out what's going on, and people are starting to accept the reality.
yes,
and
and
also,
also
you're like,
in that I've gotten all of the questions right.
yeah, you're making progress on the case itself. The only thing that's not going well is that it seems like it unless something changes, is heading towards like deliberately arresting an innocent person this time. Well,
another
maybe
communist, actually. Although this one's a shitty communist, so we got that going for us.
Well, I think the other one was a shitty communist in a different way. Like,
He was...
he talked a little too glibly about having murdered tons of women. Like, I'm sure he did hurt some people.
Yes.
He was a deeply damaged person. Just, just he for sure did not murder Teresa Tarleton, though.
Yes. Also, I would believe it if he didn't murder anybody since getting out of the army as
Yeah,
well.
it's entirely possible, actually. He may not have killed anyone except at the behest of the United States government.
Which is perfectly legal, so he's committed no crimes.
Interesting that Cole recognized him as a flamethrower operator.
Yeah. Makes me wonder if we're going to get more flashbacks to Cole's military history. Or like a playable flashback also. That could be a thing.
That would be interesting.
I'm Detective Phelps.
Rusty, not going to answer that one?
You must be
He was waiting for Cole to be rude.
What's your shoe size?
I hope he's a size 8.
An investigation, ma'am. Do you know the name?
Yeah,
Evelyn
Rusty
Summers?
really should have just like...
Sounds like I should.
Jimmy what's the guy's name that we were looking at? Tarleton?
Jimmy?
No, Terrell.
No.
Tiernan, that's the one.
Yep.
He's a pin setter.
James Tiernan.
One day he
There we go.
I used to know a guy named James Tiernan.
Stuck in my mind.
I know a politician named McTiernan, Alana McTiernan.
Where can we find Jimmy, Florence?
He'll be hopping around the lanes toward the back.
Thanks, ma'am.
I assume this guy's going to run as soon as we get back there. Yep, there he is.
That's him, all right. Oh man, so what do we know about James Tiernan, given he's now running away from
LAPD.
He was the last one seen with the victim alive,
who's now dead,
and she bought booze for him.
Yeah, she bought booze for him. They want a hotel.
There.
But I mean, she left that hotel, right? We saw this in a cutscene. Admittedly,
Yes.
Cole Rusty didn't.
This is another thing that this is something that I prefer. Like,
faster if we weren't carrying the extra weight.
I like detective shows where you never actually see the crime in its original. You only have to see. You only get to see what the investigators find. It's the weakest point about
It's a different kind of game. Like, I think the choice of showing you that information is about creating a deliberate information asymmetry between the characters.
Yeah, like it's something that you do on purpose, and it's a deliberate choice.
Don't go to sleep, Bobby. Give me back
But it's why I like Poirot a little more than Columbo. Like Poirot,
Yeah, it makes this.
I like Columbo
yeah, in
more as an
Poirot,
investigator, but I like the format of Poirot more. If
Yes,
that makes sense.
that format of crime is fantastic because you can, you legitimately get this chance to like try and work it out. And Agatha Christie was famously fair in that respect. And yeah, there's a lot to be said for having as much information as the characters do.
Yeah,
it's a different thing. Yeah.
Although I will say it did work very well for Columbo to be unbalanced because then you were just like gleefully waiting for Columbo to figure it out.
Yeah. I do.
And you would like
in
watch
this
the
game,
villains be shitty.
In this game, I do a lot of gleeful waiting and going like, oh, yes, I was looking forward to this to happen. That's my reaction at least. Like a lot of the time I'm going, oh, yes, this guy's totally getting his comeuppance. It's just that I'm doing it about people like the protagonists.
Yeah. We should still go to McCaffrey's apartment. I'm assuming that the thing that we're going to do here is decide between Tiernan and McCaffrey.
Yes, while kind of being aware that, come on, surely probably neither of them did it.
Yeah.
I wonder if you'll get the option to charge neither of them this time as a result.
If there is, I will absolutely do it. Even though it will almost certainly make the captain very upset.
Yeah, if you get the option to, you should, for sure. I wonder if it'll be available. So
my guess is that I'm still going to have to pick one of them, and then the next case is going to be, actually neither of them did it, here's the Black Dahlia, let's figure this shit out finally.
That would be what happens. So if we have to pick, so let's say we assume for a second that one of them did do the killing. Who was it based on what we know, do you think? I mean, I reckon
Tiernan's more likely because the other guy seemed shitty, but he didn't seem like a murderer. And also, he didn't really seem to have much contact with her other than lending her a book that she had asked for. She stole the book from his place, didn't she?
Yeah, Like, the only thing suspicious about that guy, and they are pretty suspicious, like, number one, his attitude of, like, contempt towards this person who was beneath him.
Yeah.
Is the kind of attitude that an abuser might have, someone who takes advantage of people and might even feel like, well, I can kill someone if I want, they're beneath me.
Yes.
Right?
That is very suspicious, but I just...
Also, why was she at his apartment in the first place?
That is a good question. We should probably investigate that, and I should probably stop making excuses for the guy. But Tiernan... Oh, and also the only reason that we think that Tiernan was the last person to see her alive, aside from the fact that he ran when the cops showed up, which is suspicious in its own right.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen the opening cutscene, Tiernan looks pretty suspicious.
Yes. But he ran when the cops showed up, and also this other guy who was kind of suspicious himself claims that Tiernan was the last person to see her alive. So...
Yeah. I wonder if Tiernan will admit that or deny it. I wonder if it's true. In fact, it could be false. I think it's probably true. I mean, it's probably true that they went to a hotel together. I don't know if it's true that he clearly wasn't the last person to see her alive, since he didn't kill her.
Yes.
Unless that was, like, literally him in the cutscene, but nah.
That seems unlikely.
I will say this for the game. It's not like it's been concealing what it's doing.
Right.
Like, apart from the very first case, maybe, it's not like it's unclear that it's a story about getting the wrong people and having to deal with the consequences of that. Like, we have known that this is happening.
Yeah, but my issue there is that, like, I would very much...
You're the one who they make press A.
Yeah. And also, you don't have an option to say, like, no, I've picked up what you've put down here. Neither of these people did it. Like, you have to pick one of them, even though knowingly...
It's not showing you this in order to give you an opportunity to avert injustice. It's showing you it as part of telling a story about a wrong thing being done and then the consequences, regardless of what you think of that. Kick in the door.
This is okay living for a dude.
What he makes his living?
Hey!
Oh, hello. Wow, okay, we know who the killer's framed this time, I guess.
Yeah.
He said he was at home. He said he didn't know her. And we have the book.
Also, it's from Rowling's Bowling. That's...
See Carruthers argue his way out of this.
Oh man, so you totally could, like, claim it was the other guy's still.
Who are you guys? What are you doing in here?
We're from the LAPD, ma'am. Do you know where we might find McCaffrey?
I wonder if she's gonna run.
Is he in trouble?
Why would she run, though? But also,
It
hey,
would be funny.
the LAPD is looking for him. Excuse me.
How do we get up there?
You are excused. I excuse you.
Drunk and in command of a carrier pigeon.
All right. I guess if we can't get him for the murder, we can at least get him for that.
Galloway's a funny guy.
Just checking over this one more time, making sure that, like, yeah, we got the pipe, but can we get the shirt too, though? Like, is that separate, or I guess not?
I guess it's all one thing. I mean, it's just too convenient, isn't it? Like, it's exactly what they did in the very first case.
And the other half of a letter.
Oh, what does it even say? For your
things back. No, your address has changed. Cannot be sure it will find you. From Augusta Summers, but
torn from the letter we found beside the body.
I wonder if.
Say it ties McCaffrey to the scene.
I wonder whether she would have taken it up.
We'll never know now, which is regrettable. I was wondering if this was like 11th dimensional chess and Tiernan actually planted this stuff. Because, like, the pipe is from the bowling alley, right?
Not totally impossible, but I think
that just seems fantastically unlikely. I don't think either of these people did it, but I will definitely be going to accuse McCaffrey first.
It's, I mean, it's kind of the responsible police thing to do. Like, yes, the evidence may have been planted, but it is who the evidence points to.
Yes. Also, let's see him run as we get away from, or get close to him.
Maybe he's going to send off the pigeon with a message.
It didn't seem to have anything, so we've got that going for us.
Let's go. Oh god.
I'm really curious now to why Tiernan ran away from the cops.
Yeah, well, maybe because... No, I don't know, actually. He must have done something.
Yeah, I guess. Or maybe he's just, like, justifiably nervous of cops because they say things like, why is he running? He must have done something.
Yeah, yes, you're right. Holy shit. Oh, I can't believe I said that. I've been just put into the police mindset here. They've got me.
L.A. Noire is mind poison. That's its true crime as a video game.
I can't believe they've made me sympathize with the police by
I do
portraying.
think it's like a very video game thing, though. Like, the guy wouldn't run... I guess maybe now that video game stories have, like, advanced to a point where, like, people do things for reasons instead of doing things because the players need to,
Hey, yeah!
You're under
Backseat
arrest on
tackling.
suspicion of murdering Evelyn Summers.
Just bop one in the head for good measure, I guess.
I noticed by the achievement there, that is literally the first time you've ever tackled anybody.
Yes.
Nice.
Unless Tyranny set him up.
Aha!
I think that
Oh,
asshole
it's not totally out of the question. Jameson.
Wait, we can bring... I'm not sure that that's...
McCaffrey didn't do the dog.
We have a list of over 200 suspects.
And McCaffrey wasn't
His name
on
was
it?
never on it.
Why not?
If you think the list is exhaustive, Rusty, who am I to argue?
Listen, let's just work the case in hand, shall we? Then we can sit down and put all the puzzle pieces
I should finish the thought that I had before tackling the guy.
I'll hold you to that.
What was it?
Video games stories have advanced past, like, the player has to do this because we need something for the player to do. Like, it used to be that, like, it was totally believable for a guy to run just because, like, the player needs to chase him. But now it's, like, trying to be complicated, so...
I'm going to be the one to advance a criticism of the game out of nowhere this time.
Okay.
I think L.A. Noire actually does suffer from that problem, from giving the player actiony things to do when they're not helpful to the story of the game.
I would also agree with that, yeah.
Yeah,
but
like,
here,
it's
I'm
actually
sure
a
that, like,
specific
we just haven't seen the reason for him running. Like, I'm sure he's, like,
yeah, it's
doing
possible
drugs or
there's a good
something.
reason,
I
but I wouldn't necessarily... Yeah. Then I think probably the reason they put it in was to have an action thing.
Yeah.
You sure you can make it stick with one of these suspects, Jack?
No, I don't.
It's either McCaffrey or Tiernan, sir. I think Jameson is an aberration.
All right. I'll deal
Not
with that
incorrect.
degraded lunatic myself. He's got some fearful retribution coming. Tiernan is
Yeah,
along
despite his
with
claims that it's totally legal to fuck a dead body, it's not legal to fuck a dead body. You can't do that.
I'm sure it isn't. It can't be.
It's illegal. It's you can't do that.
Yeah. Good. He must have been like just folk wisdom. Oh, they can't stop you then, or why? Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what I thought they were going for. Was just like.
How nice! There's a hell of a lineup going on there.
You can actually go into the lineup gallery, which seems like you wouldn't want people to do
Bit
that.
rude.
I'd say all's fair in love
You can get.
Wait, is that going into the room, or is that? Yeah, that is going into the room. So I don't want to do that. I want to go into the back room. How can I get to the back room?
Here's a couple of ways to go. The station's pretty big, isn't it? Ah, so here's one of the... Oh.
But this is
Hang
for
on,
a different
look at
case,
those
I
people
think?
again?
I think this is for a different case.
I think it's for someone else's case. Like, another... Like, a witness is waiting to come in here and look at those people for someone else's case, and you're just kind of wandering in and out of it.
Yeah, there's McCaffrey, and let's see if we can get the other guy. I want to talk to the other guy first.
Okay.
Because I want to find out why he ran from the cops. I'm sure it's got a good. I'm sure he's got a good reason.
Yeah, just it's the interview one is just here, so just don't use any intuition on this guy.
I don't have any intuition to use actually. I've wasted all of it.
I see.
Yep, fair enough.
I think it was me.
That is actually reasonable.
Okay.
The question is, was it you?
This seems like it's going to be very fraught with danger in terms of like accidentally accusing the man. Because the last time that I was investigating somebody that I didn't think did it, Phelps just flipped out of nowhere and accused them, and I don't want that to happen again.
Can you
Shall we go talk to McCaffrey first?
Maybe.
I barely knew Evelyn.
That's a lie.
Keep lying to me and I'll have you charged and in front of a grand jury before your feet touch the ground.
How can you possibly prove Evelyn and I were more than friends?
I don't know that we can prove that, but we can definitely prove that you knew her.
Can. The victim last seen?
Yeah, but it's McCaffrey testifying that. So what if I just back out of here and stop accusing him of anything and go talk to McCaffrey?
But, I mean, getting one question won't make him get accused. I reckon this is the correct answer. Like, a witness saw you...
Yeah, but it's McCaffrey. Like, he's the one that we're supposed to be accusing of this.
Yeah, but, like, Tiernan doesn't know that.
That's true, I guess.
We would read for a while and then go for a drink. Last night we went
Was
back
those
to my
cigarettes in
hotel
front of his
room and had
overalls?
some more to drink. I must have passed out. I woke up
And she was gone.
They totally are cigarettes.
Around
Just
midnight,
like kept
maybe
in front of his
And
chest.
there's no one who can confirm this.
No, there isn't.
Hotel front
You
desk should be able to,
believe
but
me.
we're not interested in that, I guess.
It might not be the kind of hotel that keeps records.
That's very true.
Yeah, okay, now we should back out, though,
Yep.
if you still
No,
want to
don't
do
go.
that.
We both want the truth here.
I am not allowed to. I am not
Oh,
allowed to
okay.
leave.
I guess it's like two men have entered the room, one of them will leave.
It's me. I would like to
Both
leave.
belong to McCaffrey.
McCaffrey saw her looking at her once and laughed in her face.
And you're saying Evelyn stole it.
She wanted something of his.
I wonder if that's true.
His eyes are not moving. So
It could be true.
Yeah,
I
believe
reckon
it.
that's probably what really happened.
Inaccurate.
Oh. Okay. Do you think that maybe Tiernan suggested she take it?
Possibly, but
Like,
I'm not
probably wasn't.
super interested in it. Like, this guy didn't do it. Although I'm suspicious about the blood on his face. That's kind of weird, actually.
You and Evelyn
Is
were
that just
drinking
because we
together
shoved him
last
to the
night.
curb when he ran
Possibly.
away?
Oh, yeah, it is. Yep, sorry.
Yeah, we crashed his car, didn't we? Yeah, that's why it's got blood.
I don't remember.
This seems like a place where doubt would be useful. And his eyes are shifting.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Let's remember it for him if he won't remember it himself.
That was.
Differently about this, Tiernan. I'm gonna
Oh
have to
shit,
go
maybe
to
that should have been a lie.
My clues aren't, or my tricks aren't working anymore.
Half a bottle of scotch. I don't remember a goddamn thing.
That's fair.
But it's apparently not true. Hmm.
We're totally going to end up accidentally accusing this guy because I just wanted to find out more about him, and now I can't leave.
Look, if you get half the questions wrong and half of them right, I'm sure that will have some effect, and I don't know what it is.
Want the truth here.
That's true. That's why I want to go talk to the guy that is being accused of it also. But I want to go. I don't want to... Please don't make me accidentally accuse this guy.
Do you own a car, Tiernan?
No, I don't.
I don't think it do that.
Have access to a lug wrench?
No, we use a lot
Now
of
this
them
one...
to clear jams in the pin setting machines.
This seems true, and yet his eyes are shifting. Is that
Maybe
the
pick lie
gimmick?
and
Is that
see
the
what you
gimmick
can
because
accuse him of.
his tells are the opposite of what everybody else's?
No, I think what it is that you've been correctly picking whether it was a doubt or lie, but we've been guessing wrong as to which one it was. Do you want to pick lie this time and see what you can accuse him of?
Broke into McCaffrey's apartment and planted a lug wrench there.
We can't prove that.
Do that, and there's no way you can prove any different.
No, we can't. Can we?
No, we
Maybe
can.
This one really
We totally can because the tire iron is from his job. But I don't want to do that because that's going to make me. That's going to make me accuse
I see
him.
what you're saying. Like, we probably could put this on him by picking that option. So maybe pick doubt instead and deliberately fail it and see what goes wrong.
No, I don't.
I'm actually going to say truth because.
We use a lot of them.
So yeah, like all of this is true.
Or
do you want me to hit doubt because?
Yeah. No, I reckon you're right, actually, to pick truth. I was wrong. I mean, you're right to do that for strategic purposes.
We found a wrench at McCaffrey's apartment.
Yep. So.
See? It was McCaffrey.
Yeah, so if you want to pin it on McCaffrey, which you do, that was the right choice.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Her right hand.
That's strange.
You're kind of strategically choosing who to.
Like, given
not
that
believe.
neither of these did it.
Circular disc with a
Well,
ID in the middle.
the fact that you can accuse him of breaking in
Typewriter key
seems like maybe you
present from the prop
could
department at our old movie studio.
reasonably believe
Yeah, I mean,
that this guy did it.
It's not actually impossible that one of them killed her, but it's unlikely.
Just given that we're knee deep in Black Dahlia stuff, it seems like
Yeah.
this is the final case of.
Yeah, it would be very surprising.
Well, it would totally be an LA Noire thing to do to just like ruse me into a way that gets me upset again, I guess.
You ready to answer some questions?
The game is not trying to make you upset. Well, I mean, I guess
It's
in
not
a way
trying
it
to,
is
but
like...
it's succeeding wildly.
Maybe it actually is trying, I guess.
Let's see
I wonder
where
if that's...
this takes
I don't like this guy.
No, he's a piece of shit.
Evelyn died
Which is
sometime
probably
ago.
why the other guy actually did this murder, and this guy is just kind of smarmy, shitty,
I
and whatever.
was at home, writing.
We have way less to accuse this guy of. Also, like, this was the only thing that we had.
So, pick lie and see what we...
You were out at the rail yard.
And what do you have that proves I was there?
Blood wrench in your apartment. What?
You're going to have to do better than that, detective.
Are you kidding? Then what the fuck was that in your apartment for?
I wonder. So does this mean you can't accuse?
That was the only question that I had.
Hang on, are you going to successfully not accuse either of them, I wonder?
I
remember that was the ideal outcome in theory.
It was, but like then Cole Phelps promised that he was going to accuse one of them, so here we are.
I don't care whether Cole Phelps gets yelled at or not. I care whether we send an innocent person to prison.
No, obviously, but what I mean is that it's going to make Cole Phelps accuse one of them.
Probably.
We already knew that. He's a communist. Ah, well.
So I reckon
Okay, great, awesome. We can use that now. He lied to us.
I reckon
before,
the correct response to that last question would actually have been doubt.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't. He was at the rail yard. What we do is.
What the fuck was the lug wrench doing in his apartment?
You were in the.
But that wasn't.
Yes, I was.
Yes, that's suspicious, but for other reasons. Like it's not. It doesn't prove you where he was.
It's a very short leap of logic. There's the lug wrench in your apartment, and
the
a
game
woman was
doesn't
beaten to
do
death with a
leaps
lug
of
wrench.
logic and lie in the accusations. Like I did not expect that to work under it at all.
You told us before that you had only minor run-ins with the police. You didn't mention petty theft.
I've never been in trouble for violence.
That's
the
false.
salient point here, isn't it?
Let's find out if this is in our evidence book. Yes, it is. Great.
Yeah. So,
right.
So thankfully he's such a shithead that we actually can get him on this instead.
You have a history of violence towards women.
How do you turn a couple parking tickets in a petty theft misdemeanor?
Quite easily. You actually had a charge for assault before. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Did you forget about that, or is that made up? Did they make that up because he's communist? Because that's totally a thing that the military could have done.
We know all about you and your dishonorable discharge, beating some poor woman near to death in Syria.
You don't seem very happy about this.
No.
Your whole life is
Why?
a fraud.
She was a goddamn peasant whore. She tried to steal from
What a great
my wallet.
communist this guy is.
Fought for this country. I could have.
You beat her because
Could
she
have.
stole from you. Because she tried to outsmart you.
So no, I'm not happy because
What is a man supposed to do? Sit there and.
This is interesting, actually. This specific response, because like he's got a history of attacking women who stole from him specifically.
Yeah.
As Cole says.
There we are. Okay, that's.
Grosvenor McCaffrey.
There we are. Okay, we can still charge him, so everything's fine.
She was a sad lady who never
But
had anyone except herself.
I don't think this guy did it. I don't think the other guy did it either. And I think we could have charged either of them, and it would have been.
I think the Black Dahlia killer did it.
Congratulations, boys, you bagged the fine catch. Another
That
red
seems
to
pretty
boot.
clear at this
Grand.
point.
Now, I want you to put this business about a repeat offender out of your mind.
Oh
No?
man, I'm sure you want that.
I won't.
No remorse. And neither will the grand jury. You would have the
Good luck with that, Captain Donnelly.
So, if they were to say, like, this guy is actually the Black Dahlia killer, that actually isn't that far out of the question at this point. He's an educated
He
man
seems
with a
like-
history of violence against women. It's just
It
that...
seems not totally impossible, but coincidence. It would be a huge coincidence.
Yeah. So...
So,
Clues,
interesting
missed
that,
questions. 3 stars. Also, the case notes aren't telling me anything that I didn't already know, so... Apparently we did
They
things in
weren't-
the correct order.
Yeah, it looks like those were probably the right questions to get wrong, as it were, and they didn't significantly affect the outcome this time.
Well, the one question where I said he was out of his apartment, and he said, you can't prove that, and I tried to use the evidence that was in his apartment that would have been used
So
in a murder.
I reckon, here's my guess, if you'd picked a doubt there, it would have led to a further question, the answer to which would then have been lie, is my guess.
Yeah. But these are decisions that we have made, and we have to stick by them, I guess.
So I want to ask you a question, as opposed to asking Grosvenor McCaffrey a question. Are you presently upset with the game because it made a hard-to-answer question and caused you to get an X next to your name and made you feel bad?
In this instance, yes. But also,
Yeah.
I'm still not
That's fair
enjoying the
enough.
part where, like, we're well on our way to saying, like, neither of these people did the murders, but that's still not an
Yeah.
option for Cole Phelps. And, like,
Yeah.
they're making me hit the A button on accusing this guy of murder that he didn't do. He's a shithead, but there are a lot of shitheads in the world. So
That said, given the timing of it, it doesn't look like any of them are actually going to be, like, going to prison for the crimes they didn't commit. So that's
here's
good.
hoping, but they've still been in jail for how many days? Months? Like it
days,
takes a while
rather
for
than months, but yeah.
It takes a while for a murder case to get from like investigation to grand jury to trial, and the first one started to go to trial. So how long has that guy been in jail?
It took a lot less time in 1947 than in 2017.
I guess. Here's hoping. I'm gonna hit the A button, and we're probably gonna get a flashback. Or
oh yes, let's see if there's one of those or not. Yeah, no.
I
by
have
the
a
way,
proposal actually, because I think that the Black Dahlia thing, from what I remember, it just spins out from a case. Like after you finish a case, it then goes just like directly into the Black Dahlia thing. If that does happen, are you willing to keep going?
Yes. It's
Okay.
not that late at night for me, if that happens, yeah. Yeah, by the way, on the question point, I am actually with you. That is the most frustrating part of the game, is like, some of these are not easy to answer right, and it's like, I've been fucked, and I feel like I'm the person who made the mistake, and the game is making it very clear that I'm to blame for screwing up here, and now everything goes bad.
Yeah, especially like in this instance, it turned out okay in the end. Like we got additional piece of information that got him to basically yell out that she got what was coming for her, which is a very suspicious thing for a man to do. But boy, if that hadn't happened, then I would have had to go accuse the other guy, and I didn't want to do that.
It certainly seemed like that might have been about to happen. That would have sucked, yeah.
So, I'm going to hit the A button. If we get a flashback, we'll cut it off afterwards. If we get a flashback followed by the Black Dahlia, I guess we'll keep going. So here we go, hoping for flashback. No whammies.
Just hoping for things in general. We never did get to investigate the Keystone Studio. I guess that was, closed
they were
in
long
1941.
closed, yeah. Oh, flashback time. A bridge.
Oh. That's got to be like
We have lost most of
in the
Shaughnessy
war.
and Dunny squad. The gunny is dead. First platoon is in worse shape. That medic is either crazy or the bravest man alive.
Can we rally with the first and
That
try for the
medic.
Nambus?
It's sheer to the left. To the right,
I
it
wonder
goes
if that
right through
comes
a
up
pass with 2 Nambus and infilade.
Mate,
we can lose everyone.
Lieutenant! Get back off this fucking bridge! They'll start walking the mortars back to their own positions! We only have minutes! I'm in charge here, Sergeant!
Oh, he's going to make a decision that gets everybody killed.
Sergeant? We don't have time for this, Lieutenant! What's your unit, Sergeant? I company 22nd Marines, Lieutenant, and we just saved your ass by fording the river. My
Is that
orders
Kelso?
are to
That's
reach
Kelso.
I think that point is now moot. You have 10 men left. My orders are to save what's left. Move out!
Cole Phelps sure was a
Man.
shithead in the war.
Did you see that?
Also, this is not the Black Dahlia.
No.
As far as I know.
mean, it clearly is because it says murders
Yes.
plural, but it's a case. It's a
Oh.
normal case, yeah.
Actually,